Struggle Duggles. We made it. The winning has been won. We already won. Because we were bred for this and born for this. Oh, I'm thinking it's going to be a lazy day today. And it was snowing when I woke up, and now it's raining. Which, unfortunately, is a dangerous weather hazard. Don't think I can make it to church today. Way she goes, boys. I'm on a plane. I can't complain. You merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it, molded by it. And when I found the light, it was blinding. I was thinking about watching that again soon. Nap attack. I kind of almost got up with my alarm today. I never fell back asleep, but I just kind of like laid in bed for an extra 15 minutes with my eyes closed. Dude, I found the sickest band last night. You guys ever heard of the band Failure? I can't believe I'm just now listening to them. Bro, there's so many bands on my big bands list that I haven't checked out. I don't even think I've found the best bands yet, but yeah, dude, Failure is really sick. It's kind of in the vein of Quicksand, Helmet, but it sounds like they're really inspired by The Cure too. They're big Cure fans. This kind of music isn't for everybody. It's very strange. But I'm making a list. I think I'm going to make a video like 10 cool 90s albums or it's pretty much all going to be post-hardcore, I think. 10 cool post-hardcore albums. But yeah, I only heard one other album so far, but it was just really hip. It's just hip and happening, man. Just really mellow. The best way to describe it is like it seems like something some like I don't know, cool hip happening young 20s guy would listen to in 1994. I'd like to find a cool post-punk band with a lot of cool synths. Well, Failure might be up your alley, dude, but apparently all of their albums sound way different. I listened to Magnified. Even the album cover is cool. It just has this like weird gray frog on it. But yeah, I'm finding that these bands are just very re-listenable. I listened to Betty from Helmet when I was hitting the bag yesterday and jump roping. That was dope. Instant classic, Quicksand Slip. And then the last time I hit the bag, I listened to the self-titled from Handsome. It's weird, dude. It's like it almost kind of sounds like a gritty, kind of like a corporate 90s band that would be on the radio, but then it's like darker, sludgier, riffier. It's really interesting kind of music. I started going down this rabbit hole when I got into Deftones. I went on Reddit and just looked up like other bands that fans of Deftones listen to. That's how I found Cocktail Twins. That's how I found Kate Bush too. But this freaking 90s post-hardcore group on Facebook, man, I'm still in that group on my alt. I need to like post here, dude, because I feel like all the cool people are kind of gone. I'm gonna post the freaking cover of this Failure album and get props from all the old heads. Yeah, that was Kate Bush and oh man, I'm not gonna remember that guy's name. I found that song because of freaking Matthew Perry. I watched I don't know if it was a TED talk, but Matthew Perry did some talk on alcoholism before he died, and he said that was his favorite song. Don't give up. That's all I remember of it. You need to fact check, Chud. You're listening to lies from a Chud. So I watched the third Trailer Park Boys movie last night. I liked that better than the second one, Countdown to Liquor Day. It had a couple of moments that like weren't really that great, but overall more enjoyable than Countdown to Liquor Day. Trailer Park Boys 3, don't legalize it. Oh, that's Say Goodnight to the Bad Guys. That's like that one's probably the best of all of them because it's not really a movie. It's like a special. It's only about 47 minutes. It's about as long as 2 episodes of Trailer Park Boys. That one's great, dude. That's basically just like an episode of Trailer Park Boys. Where Cyrus is doing the dirty dancing. Yeah, like this, Ricky? I'm gonna dirty dance all night long, and you're not gonna do anything about it. Oh my gosh, dude. The end of the third movie where Ricky gets the video from Ray. Like, hey, buddy, faked my own death. I did an insurance fraud scam. $11,000, bud. I'm set for life. That was so funny. Living in a dump in Florida. $11,000, bud. I'm set for life. Holding to myself when no one can touch me. Oh. Ruggles wants to snuggle. Alright. It's time to get my freaking old head props. Dang, it's so obscure that like Google didn't even know what I was talking about. There we go. I'm not really sure if these bands are even considered post-hardcore. They're like, it sounds kind of like grunge infused post-hardcore. It's like more clean and catchy than post-hardcore, but then like more dark and sludgy than grunge. That's kind of what all these bands are like. Failure, Helmet, Quicksand, Handsome. And then there's going to be a couple more like pure post-hardcore bands like Boys Life, Braid, No Knife. I put Knapsack on here, but I'm probably going to have to replace them with something. Because they're like too close to just emo pretty much. But yeah, this is like really good vibing out music. All that's left now is season 8, boys. I watched all the freaking movies. Season 8 was alright. Season 8 was like more entertaining than it was funny. But I've never really had a problem with season 8. Yeah, I need to post in this group more. If you guys want to know what the group is, it's called... Hold up. 90s hardcore / punk / emo records, CDs, tapes, and zines. This is the group where I discovered like all these bands on my giant list of bands. It's like the main reason I even want to have a Facebook anymore. Which one of you is man enough to take this chip off my shoulder? Dude, the way they were selling piss. Piss and cocks. I'm in the piss game now, boys. Oh, man, that was great in the third movie. I can't remember what Phil Collins said, but that's when I realized that I was actually enjoying the movie. I was kind of thinking, it's like, okay, I didn't really think the second movie was that great. Pretty low expectations for this one. But when, like, Phil Collins was in the middle of the road with a hockey stick in his wheelchair. Jacob, get in the house! I was like, you know what? This is good. It's still good, boys! Philadelphia Collins, bro. That's a great character. Tell Ricky to go fuck himself. Hey, Ricky! Go fuck yourself, bud! Man, a lot of these guys collect cassette tapes. That's like the hip thing to do in this group, is collect cassette tapes. This guy's got vinyl and cassette. Like anything other than CDs. CDs are fine, but I could probably be down for cassette tapes. I remember cassette tapes. Cassette tapes were still around in my time. I had like now 4 on cassette. It was just ending though. Like CDs were like just starting to become a thing. I mean, I think CDs were already a thing, but I don't know. They still sold cassette tapes like in Walmart. People are already commenting on my thread. Let's go. Time to find more bands, chuds. Fantastic Planet is the good one. Yeah, I still have to check out that album. This album's really dark, though. Magnified by failure. It's like really just kind of like dark and ugly. It's like not catchy in a catchy way. People were pointing out in the comments they have a song with the tritone in it. They're like, "Wow, this is the catchiest I've ever heard anybody make the tritone." It's like they're forcing what's the word? They're forcing dissonance to be melodic, which was kind of interesting. Decided to lay off the food for a bit, go on the booze. Holy patrolly, it's fight night. Maybe I should throw it on. CDs were around in the late 80s, okay. But yeah, most people couldn't play them in their car till the mid 90s. I mean, I remember most of the cars I remember through the 90s had cassette players in them. But you would have that like cassette that had a cord coming out that you could plug into your CD player. That was the cool thing. Stoic show. Yep. Love me some adapters. What was I just about to do? Oh yeah, fights. The fights, the fights, the fighty fights. Man, my right hand is like sore today from freaking blasting right hands on that heavy bag. Yeah, I think once I start pumping up the volume on the heavy bag, my right hand is the thing that just kind of like keeps getting more powerful. But I swear, dude, if I'm trying to do a one-hitter quitter in a street fight, I'd probably go for a straight left. Stand in the southpaw, freaking overhand left or straight left, dude. That thing feels like a cannon. Straight left, boys. That's the punch I'd use if I was on one of those punching machines. I was never very good at those, man. I've wanted to find one of those for a long time. A lot of places don't have those anymore. They had one in the mall in Anchorage. And I guess people would like hurt their hands on it. It was kind of a liability, so they got rid of it. I was about to go into a deep dive on the metaphysics of Pepe the Frog. When? Yeah, I use gloves. I use small gloves now. I think these are 10 ounces. Yeah, I use 10 ounce. I don't know if they're 8s or 10. No, I think they're 10s. But yeah, I started using smaller gloves. Onyx gloves. Yeah, I threw kicks on the bag in Vegas because it was free hanging. I had better angles to throw kicks. I can't really throw kicks on this bag because it's in a corner on a stand. But, I probably wouldn't throw a kick in a street fight. Maybe like a teep kick or a leg kick. But I feel like I'm too hesitant with it. Too much of a tell. It's like too obvious when I'm gonna throw a kick. Oh no, we're going to Crackle City. I gotta get out of this Facebook thread. This laptop's becoming an old dinosaur. Come on, old girl. Krav Maga. Check out No Knife. Ha ha ha. Way ahead of you, buddy. Yep, I'm getting a pretty hip taste in music. Yeah, you know, Krav Maga for like pure self-defense, I guess, but martial arts is like an art form, dude. And Krav Maga is like not really an art form. That's just trying to like cause the absolute most damage most quickly, kind of like by not staying true to the art form of martial arts. It's basically like cheap fighting. We're going to Mars. Burmese boxing. I'm not familiar with that. Christos Giagos. These guys are lightweights. Oh, didn't this guy fight Justin Gaethje once? Giagos. Man, I just don't know what the thought process was behind this Holloway Gaethje fight, dude. I feel like all the fights on UFC 300 should probably be pretty easy to pick. I'm going with Poton is going to beat Jamal Hill. Justin Gaethje is going to beat Max Holloway. I mean, why wouldn't he, dude? Yeah, 299 was freaking legend. Oh man, they allow headbutts. That's messed up, dude. That's messed up. When is the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight? The Dirty Burger. Yeah, man, Gaethje has really evolved into quite the fighter. It honestly screwed up my view of him when he fought Khabib, though. Like, Khabib beat him easier than he beat other people. It's just like, damn, bro. Kind of a shame that Khabib retired. Like, he was just so freaking many levels above. But yeah, I think, Gaethje and Poirier should go third time. I'd probably pick Gaethje to win this time, but I mean, the kind of fight that Poirier and Gaethje were having, it was a war, and like somebody's gonna get caught. But yeah, I think Gaethje probably. They both have crazy power, dude. I mean, both Poirier and Gaethje can knock people the f out. But Gaethje probably has the better chin. The Hogan boot. That's what Poirier said. Yeah, Gaethje got me with the Hogan boot. I love car crashes. Yeah, Gaethje started out with that brawler mindset with an amazing chin, and then he just became like a really good boxer with a lot of power. That was like his rite of passage when he freaking ended Tony Ferguson's career. And now he's like so freaking dangerous, and like he's like a really good boxer. Thick boy, really good wrestling, so people can't really like grapple flip him. Marcus Aurelius. That's a pretty common intellectual sentiment. Like, sports are a waste of time. Oh, Hogan boot. Dang, yeah, that was probably a good stoppage. He just got Hogan booted. Well, I feel like the way to be is like, I mean, I'm pretty sympathetic to people watching sports. I think it's annoying when people are like, ew, yeah, it's the slaves watching the football game. It's like, dude, if people want to watch football, just Let them watch football, dude. But the way I am is like, I like MMA and boxing, kickboxing. I like combat sports, and I don't, respectfully, don't really care about like other sports. Let's go, boys! Huge distraction to keep young men from building a house and starting a family. Dude, I don't know, man. I'm distracted by football. But what's the stereotype of like boomer parents, dude? They're beer dads who watch the freaking game every weekend. Like everybody's dad watches sports. Ideally, I mean that's how it was, dude, is every dad watches sports. But yeah, I guess it was like a distraction. I think I've just kind of accepted, bro, that the masses aren't going to be philosophers, man. And you don't really want a society of philosophers. I mean, I can't help but think about what Southern Israelites said about. He talks about the mystics, how they like are mentally masturbating. They're mentally masturbating. They contribute nothing to society. He points out Thomas Jefferson's letters to John Adams, where he's talking about how like the mystics just they dedicate their life to this mystical heebie-jeebie bullshit that doesn't add anything to society. And it's like, well, I definitely agree that you don't want a society full of philosophers. That's not really going to get you anywhere, but it doesn't mean that it's useless altogether. I mean, it's a distraction that keeps these men working. Well, that's what society needs. As someone who is kind of left behind the rat race, you should be grateful that there's like masses of people who work and watch the games, dude. Like it's good, yeah. And then last season I was kind of trying to watch football. I was trying to work it in. I think I'm just one of those guys who's like, "Hey man, what's the score on the game?" or just like take a peek at it. I don't really care enough to sit there and watch the entire game, but maybe catch the end of the game, stay updated on the scores. But yeah, I kind of just don't care. Bread and circuses. Society is designed on an army of poorly educated slaves that don't realize their role as the labor force of society. Well, all that's going to happen if you try to wake all those people up, society is going to collapse. So. And then, it's like, it's just kind of smug to act like, what do you mean wake up, dude? I have a wife and kids and a house and things and like flip you, dude. I mean, they work for their wife and their kids and their house and their family. And it's like, and that's just how it's supposed to be, dude. Like, we were kind of all supposed to find jobs that we could stand. But I think a lot of boomers didn't like their careers, dude. There was definitely a lot of guys who just kind of got jobs that, like they could stand it, but a lot of people don't get their dream career. That's another band that people are recommending. I gotta check them out. Oh my gosh, I gotta get out of this Facebook thread, dude. Crackle City. No. Okay. Okay. I'll check this thread later. Can't do it. It's the corporations, man. Ultimately, you guys, it's the Industrial Revolution. Average Joe was so much more valuable and had so much more control before the Industrial Revolution. Joe Schmo Farmer had a big piece of the pie. Everybody had a big piece of the pie, bro. Like, comparing it to now, there's just no comparison. You know, Joe Schmo Blacksmith, Joe Schmo Farmer. There was no choice but to just, you know, pay them for their food, pay them for their goods. The Industrial Revolution created factories that created the elite. A small percentage of people run the factories, and an overwhelming majority of people work in the factories. But, you know, and then there's the feudal society, so really there's like a very small period of time between feudalism and the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution was basically pushing us back into the feudal way of life. I think that's the perspective that I've been looking for. I don't need somebody like Rick to freaking tell me how it is, dude. Feudal society was, you know, the serfs ultimately don't really have a choice in the matter. I mean, maybe the serfs' way of life was peaceful, but they don't have a choice in the matter. They're on the bottom, and they're subject to abuse from the elite. But what happened was that the Black Plague, the Black Death, opened up a lot of opportunities for serfs to elevate themselves out of poverty. Because ultimately, that's what happens when a lot of people die, bro. There's more room for people to not be poor. So, yeah. Warren Moon Goons! Let's go! So basically, between the Black Death and the Industrial Revolution, that was basically a time where the Industrial Revolution didn't shove the masses into the factories, which is basically the origins of communism. Communism was a reaction to the industrial world. And then it's, you know, when people are saying that, like, oh man, feudal society was so based and red-pilled, it was a strong hierarchy, and I don't think you could avoid the hierarchy. I mean, the idea that, like, nobody's on the bottom in society is basically communism. So, ultimately, guys, you kind of just need to figure out how to be happy where you're at. But I think most philosophers throughout history were rich and upper class, bourgeoisie. That's kind of the way it works, is that usually it's some sort of money and privilege that even allows you to develop your mind. Which, you know, I don't really think I'm an exception to the rule. My dad had a little bit of success, and I at least tried to live this kind of bourgeoisie life. But it didn't work out, and yeah, ultimately, the philosophical mind is probably going to start looking at the rat race as a cage, a wage slave cage, and you might just try to escape. Industrial Revolution is literally Fed talk, fiat slavery, and hyperinflation caused by banking cartels. True Industrial Revolution sent us back to feudal times. Real. Serfdom at least had a choice to not participate. Now the homeless guy under the bridge can get a $60 fine for sleeping in his car. Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to think that it's hard to know exactly how everything was the further you go back in time. But I read a book about feudal society, and I've watched a bunch of documentaries on it, trying to get an accurate picture painted of it. Serfs definitely had to work a lot, you know, but they did have families. They had families, they were married, they just kind of lived a simple life. They had a lot of days off because it was all through the Catholic Church. So every feast day, every holiday was a day off. But I think it's a little bit edgy to act like they had a wonderful life. Mainly just because you can't really know for sure. Unfortunately, guys, I think like the real red pill is just there was really points throughout every point in history where just a lot of people weren't having a good time. And you really do have to take into account that, you know, in America, mainly for the boomers and Gen X, because now we're slipping back into bad times again. But there was a point in the United States where a lot of people at least weren't going hungry. But yeah, the moral fabric of society that came from the church has been washing away. Our morals have been washing away. I believe there's a chud in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble. Finally allows us to die with pride. We gotta be steady. And give up the thing we want the most, even our dreams. Had my grandparents' picture of the past less than 3 generations ago. Land was free to be staked and zero income tax. There's a reason they don't want us having a nuclear family with grandparents. Can see our freedoms clearly eroding every generation, and I think they purposefully time it with each large demographic that retires. There's hope for America. My country is dead. Things are looking pretty bleak over here, man. But yeah, I've heard things about Canada. Isn't it hard to see that we're actually just useless eaters and low quality people now? It's a two-way street though, dude. And I would say that it's mainly like the boomer parents' fault that people became useless eaters, you know? It's the public school and the parents. And everybody just wants to like point their fingers at the millennials and Gen Z, be like, "Oh, look how useless you are. Wow." It's like, "Bro, public school was fucking babysitting where I got traumatized. My parents like sat me in front of a TV and told me to do my homework from my piece of shit public school that didn't teach me jack shit, you know? Like, well, that's on you. Buck up, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. It's not parenting. Telling people to suck it up and toughen up, that's not parenting, bro. Like, ultimately, the boomers were all work ethic and no wisdom. Like, they think they're wise because they have money. And work ethic for them was just showing up. They just showed up, dude. There was a world of opportunity. It doesn't mean none of them worked hard, but it's objectively just showing up. A lot of millennials and Gen Z, you can't find anywhere to show up to. You can't find anywhere worth showing up to. And that's where the debate really comes in. It's like, but you quit your ice cream job. It's like, because it was fucking going nowhere. It was $8 an hour in an inflated economy. You know, like, the price of everything is inflated and the wages have not gone up proportionately. It's fucking slavery. And it's not worth showing up. Like, who cares about the work ethic? It's not worth it. Hey, Rug. It's over. When I hear women talk about guys Snapchatting them and swiping them on Tinder and all this stuff, it makes me lose hope for reproduction. Yeah. And then there's the fact that women's attraction is just not a meritocracy. That's just another thing that's not meritocracy. From what I've seen, they like men who act like them. They like skinny Zoomer guys with curly hair, broccoli tops, in tight jeans, who like take a bunch of selfies on Instagram and act like they're beautiful. It's like, wow, that doesn't necessarily deserve to be rewarded with women's affection. But women just like what they like. Let's get it, Pierre. Public school was fun, but it had no structure for me. Yeah, leaving kids with people who neglect you, don't care about you, it's not parenting. Programmed to be slaves. Let's go. Boomers are about to be effed. At least we already have nothing. At least we already have nothing. Let me give you a word of advice. Quit the shitty cheese job. Focus on your drawings. But I need to make the cheese sandwiches. So I shouldn't blow the brains out of the back of my skull? No, you shouldn't blow the brains out of the back of your skull. Quit your shitty cheese job. Focus on your drawings. And then, if it doesn't work out, then you fucking kill yourself. Dude. Freddy Got Fingered, man. That movie's amazing. I could probably do without the, like, whacking off the elephant and whacking off the horse shit, but that movie's amazing, bro. I, like, immediately became obsessed with that movie when I saw it in 8th grade. You gotta work on it for years and years and years. Then, if it doesn't work out, then you fucking kill yourself. But I gotta make the cheese sandwiches. Oh, man. Boomer work camp being described in detail. Listen here, son. I won because the dollar inflated and I was making $20 back in 1982. Dude, Sam Hyde has a rant about real estate that's so brutal. Because it completely applies to my dad. And I don't want to undercut what he's achieved, man, but literally a boomer who invested in real estate and then benefited off of a freaking inflation. It's like, wow, man. Like, yeah, anybody who owned real estate through the 90s and early 2000s, it's like, oh, you hit the jackpot. And now you're sitting on, like, fucking homes that aren't going to go to, like, young families. I mean, bro, using, like, homes as currency, just think about that, dude. Being a landlord, like, homes. It's like, oh, man, I bought all these homes, and now the economy's going to shit. I did it! I'm sitting on homes that families can't afford now. I can't thrive. Death cult hype. Dude, I figured it out, guys. Like, I had a little bit of status, and I worked out, and I had pierced ears, and I was starting to, like, figure out some girls who wanted to bang me, dude. And then I got red pilled. It all hinged around moving to Vegas, man. Everything went to shit when I moved to Vegas, and all I needed to do was not let everybody know how miserable I was, and I needed to not, like, spurg out. I got to that point in life, dude, where I figured out game, and then I just freaking spurged out because Vegas just sucked. Schools and prospects for the future, too many. Thinking about law. My mother said law school was very hard, dude. It's kind of a gamble, bro. You got to go all the way through law school, spend all that money, and then you might get all the way there just to figure out that you're getting out competed or it's not for you somehow. All of that shit, even coding, even being an engineer, all the stuff that people swear is the most safe bet in the current year, all of that shit could not work out. Open book tests, shit education, physical abuse from bullies. Sweeping the floor in Walmart bathrooms for the last 10 years, waiting for my big break. I can feel it coming. It's coming. It's right around the corner. They can raise the rent while inflation is insane and there's a housing crisis. Well, somehow BlackRock can afford it. I met a nice, young, hard-working whippersnapper. Says he's an investor at BlackRock. Sounds like you need to do more what he's doing, bucko. Well, BlackRock can afford it. What's your problem? Maybe you need to stop pointing your fingers at everybody else. If BlackRock can afford it, you can afford it. Do what they did, bucko. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Sausage? Why do we stop arranging marriages? That's basically the Matrix, dude. Like, the idea that people are supposed to just organically fall in love, it's like, holy shit, bro. You can only make that work if you're Chad. That's what the black pill has realized. People, like, average men, love just isn't really real for you, bro, unless you get lucky, you know? Right person, right place, right time. But boomers live and breathe. You're gonna find her. You're gonna find the girl for you someday. It's like, no. Love is just being a top status man who has options. And then you find a girl who you're physically attracted to, and she's physically attracted to you. And that's it. Just go on Tinder. Rather be red pilled and solo, see the system. And be a normie NPC. Yeah, well, it comes at a price, guys. You gotta Oscar the Grouch Max. Normies love to, like, point out that you're low status. But if you can figure out how to just kind of slip through the cracks of society in a good way, it's not for everybody, dude. Just live and let live, man. Yeah, the whole line of thinking that, you know, everybody's like a slave is like, yeah, there's not really a reason to try to convince people of that, because then it's all just going to fall apart. But automation is coming. Automation is here, and who knows, dude? Either the elite are going to just be nice and, like, let everybody live their little utopia, or they're going to try to figure out how to, like, cull the population. And I think what the elite have designed is like a self-filtering process where if you don't have enough self-control and intelligence to not kill yourself with the available hedonism, then you fucking die and you get bred out of existence. So the elite have kind of made it so it's like they're not killing the masses. They put out the slop, they put out the shitty food, they put out the pornography. And then there's people who I just can't stop coobing, and I can't not eat 1,000,000 cheeseburgers. Okay, well then you die. And then that's it. So I think ultimately the elite, I don't want to say that I'm starting to sympathize with them, but you know, there are, like, evil satanic elites. That's all out there. It's not really black and white. You know, there's a lot of different brands of the elite, but, like, the technocratic Malthusian elite is like, we're not going to kill everybody. We're just going to put this poison out there, and the people who are smart enough to not kill themselves with it are basically the ones who deserve to survive. But then we had the shit that went down in 2020. I think that was kind of evil. But still, it's like some people were smart enough to not take it, and then those people deserve to survive. They're just trying to... And I think they realize that maybe we are overpopulated. Kind of the traditional far-right view at this point is that overpopulation isn't real. It could be for our system. I don't think it's real for the planet. Like, we're running out of resources and, like, climate change is real. But it might just be real for our system as we know it. But I don't know, man. I'm starting to just realize that maybe I don't have things as figured out as I tried to say. I think climate change isn't real, but I do consider that I could be wrong. I don't want to put all my philosopher cred in climate change not being real. Just like I don't want to put all my philosopher cred in flat earth. I think the earth is flat and space is fake, but I do consider I could be wrong. I think it's probably important to say that as soon as possible, so I don't freaking shoot my whole wad, dude. I don't want to get written off as an idiot just because I was wrong about one thing. Like, there's a lot of things that I consider, bro. So, I think it makes sense that space is fake. But I'm not a physicist, so I better not put all my eggs in that basket. I like being left alone. I hate to go here, but if we had real Christians in power, we wouldn't have this degenerate culture. They would be telling us to have families, banning porn and abortion. Well, I'm starting to see this, like, really bleak, purely philosophical version of the world where what if the attack on Christianity is because of overpopulation? Like, the elite basically know that overpopulation is real. And what does the Christian society do? It pumps out children. It pumps out families and children. So part of the Goyslop is removing Christianity because it ultimately produces less children. I'm basically considering that the elite is unironically just trying to micromanage overpopulation, dude. And then a lot of people consider that, you know, overpopulation is a hoax, but what if it's not? What if the elite are unironically doing what they think they have to do to keep society afloat? Unfortunately, guys, I'm not having a great experience at the Catholic Church, and I believe in Christ, dude, straight up, but I don't know, man. My worldview is kind of like coagulating and developing, and okay, let me tell you guys about this thought that I'm having, bro. This is some kind of like scary shit. Everybody, all of these far right trad larpers know that the West dominated the world. The West dominated the world. That is obvious. The West is Christian. That is obvious. But if you look at all the other religions, aside from the Abrahamic religions, Hinduism, and people make all these points about Hinduism. It's like, oh, this is more ancient. This is older. This is connected. Because, you know, like Neoplatonism, Hinduism, Platonism, Taoism, Taoism, all these ancient Eastern religions that kind of represents maybe like the older faith or the more common faith outside of Christianity. They all believe in like reincarnation. And, you know, obviously India got outcompeted by the West. Where am I going with this? What if the concept of heaven and hell is a noble lie that was created to make the West more productive, more successful, have a firmer guiding hand that said, oh no, if you're not good, you will be tortured forever. So it was more of like a noble lie to guide the West to be more productive, so the West outcompeted everybody, because ultimately the spiritual system of Christianity pushes people to be more productive. Whereas Hinduism is very, very, very similar. I'm seeing you guys like in the systems of morality, Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, so much of the wisdom is the same. But the afterlife is a little less authoritarian, to where it's like, you know, if you have bad karma, you just don't ascend up the chain of being. Like, maybe the chain of being is real, and in some way that we don't know, Christianity is a manipulation to make it more like black and white, you know? Like, you either get saved or you don't. And I know this is like a devastating thing to say, guys, but so I'm sorry if that's like disturbing that I'm saying this. I believe that Jesus was real. I believe that Jesus was real. And I believe that he really was the Son of God. And ultimately, eternal conscious torment comes from. So I'm not like throwing the Bible out the window, dude. This can all be entertained with theology. Now, the one part of theology that goes out the window is, oh my gosh, the Catholic Church is infallible. Everything the Catholic Church, you can never deny the Catholic Church because then you're denying Jesus. Oh, you know, the appointed authorities of the Catholic Church were appointed by Jesus because of the unbroken. It's like, yeah, I'm starting to think maybe that's bullshit. Because, like, oh, well, then, you know, all the kids who got raped by priests had to be raped by priests because those were authorities of the church. I mean, unfortunately, guys, that's it. Like, Catholic priests appointed by the church raped children. Oh, well, actually, words. Yeah, the kids had to get raped by priests because they're the appointed authorities. Uh-oh, either you think those kids had to get raped according to Jesus, or you think that the authority of the Catholic Church is kind of just, I don't know, a big crock of fucking bullshit. Uh-oh, it's all falling apart. You're looking at Philosopher Stoic, guys. This is Philosopher Stoic. I submitted to the Catholic Church, and it got me dirty looks from fucking boomers, bro. I'm sorry. I submitted to the Catholic Church, it gets me dirty looks from boomers, bro. That's my reward for... It's not about a reward, and, you know, I think the priest maybe works with the gang stalkers, and when I was doing RCIA, every single time we went on our walk, there was fucking gang stalkers everywhere. He might have been coordinating with law enforcement and gang stalkers. The church has been subverted. All the churches are subverted, you guys. All the churches are connected to law enforcement. All of them are connected. But... So theologically, I think there's an explanation for all of it, bro. The kingdom of heaven is like nirvana. I was reading the Bhagavad Gita. By the way, I got bored of the Bhagavad Gita and like I didn't finish it. Every ancient spiritual system is saying the same thing, and then Christianity is different. And then most of Christianity is the same. The moral system of Christ, treat others the way you want to be treated, judge lest not be judged, be good to people, like, it's the same as Hinduism. It's the same as Buddhism. It's the same as Taoism. It's all the same. The only thing that changed is it's like it's trying to force you down the straight and narrow path. It's trying to force you down the straight and narrow path. Which is like, wow, that's a noble cause. That's a very noble lie. In Hinduism, there's no like, hey, everybody has to be enlightened. No, there's the yogi, there's the spiritual teacher. Hinduism realizes... It's like, oh, that's fine. Like, it's a reward. It's good to get enlightened. It's good to reach nirvana. Christianity is a noble lie where it tries to force the masses down the straight and narrow path. Jesus said it was a straight and narrow path. Oh, so every mega church, every Catholic church, every mass, every freaking church is full of people walking the straight and narrow path. No. That's contradictory. That's a paradox. There's no universalist system that can bring everybody down the straight and narrow path. It's a noble lie to try to force the masses down the straight and narrow path, and it created Western society. It created Western society. It's not necessarily a terrible thing, but all of these people in the current year is like, how come when I go to mass, how come when I go to church, I feel like I'm surrounded by goy sloppers who aren't enlightened? Because you are. Because not everybody at church is enlightened. Because most people at church are not really living the faith that Christ taught. And I think Catholicism is basically correct because it's giving you the system to walk the straight and narrow path. But the thing that I'm saying about Catholicism that makes it wrong is that most people that go to church are just unenlightened. So this is pretty much what it comes down to, guys. So it might sound like I'm saying something very heretical, but Christ described a straight and narrow path that most people won't follow. So a universal system of churches is like, it doesn't make sense. It gives everybody the opportunity, but ultimately it ended up becoming a worldly system. Because for the West to be successful like it was, that involves a lot of people. It took a mass of people to create Western society. The straight and narrow path implies that not everybody's going to make it. So, I have studied world religions. Hinduism is basically like the most purest. Hinduism, Buddhism, these Eastern wisdom systems are like the top of the pile. I think Hellenism and Odinism, these, you know, the polytheistic religions of the world are kind of like inferior. Hinduism was, I think, maybe the original polytheistic system, and it's the closest connected to whatever this ancient system of wisdom is. And then that's what it comes down to: Protestantism versus Catholicism. Protestants believe the most important thing is that you accept Jesus Christ. And then Catholics are like, the most important thing is that you follow Jesus Christ. And that's in line with the mystics. And then you have people that say, well, I like Catholicism because it embodies the mysteries, the wisdom that Christianity contains. Some people think Christianity isn't even really, like, the story isn't accurate, but it contains this ancient wisdom. Well, if that's true, then you will receive the ancient wisdom by following what Christ said, not by having faith in Jesus Christ. So, I know it's kind of fucked up, guys, and I don't know, man. This is what I'm battling right now. I feel like I've solved the mysteries of Christianity, and it can be a little bit bleak, because it's like, oh, but what about, like, Pentecostals, like, crying, and what about Pentecostals, like, fainting when a freaking televangelist, like, shoots a freaking psi wave at them? It's like, well, those people are retarded. And I tried not to see it. And I tried really, really, really hard not to see it, bro. But I get followed to my fucking car by Knights of Columbus, who are clearly involved in organized crime. The church is fucking corrupt, dude. And when you get gang stalked, you can't not see it. You put yourself in danger. You'll literally put yourself in danger if you try not to see how corrupt the church is. I don't have a reason to not believe in Jesus, though. I don't think that Jesus was made up. I think Jesus' teachings were difficult. He clearly taught in parables. He said things that were difficult. And the church ended up being a system that tried to propel everyone on a path of spiritual enlightenment, which doesn't work. But it created Western society. So that's what I think the big picture is, guys. And now, maybe what the elites have realized is that it was too efficient of a system for generating people. And there's too many families. And so the elite have this very, like, cold, like, they don't give a shit whether or not Christianity is real. They just see it in terms of universal Christianity is making people populate like bunnies. And now we're overpopulated. Your youth pastor tried to seduce you while your wife was pregnant. Ugh. I think the gains that I've made since becoming Catholic was like, I used the system to become better. I used the fear of punishment to become better. And now it's to a point where it's like, bro, it's like when you're trying to, like, you know, ride a bike. Like, you're trying to ride a bike for the first time, you use training wheels, or your dad kind of helps balance the bike. It's like, dude, just be a good person. Like, you know? Don't use the fear of judgment to, like, stop masturbating or stay off of drugs. Just stay off of drugs. Just stop masturbating. Like, just be the good person. I believe the teachings of Christ are, like, spot on. It's spot on. And then some people think that Jesus wasn't real, and, like, they've taken this ancient wisdom and recycled it into what he said. Or Jesus was just literally, like, God enlightened, and he was speaking the truth. And I have no reason to believe that Jesus wasn't real. Basically, in layman's terms, I'm becoming more of like a Christian mystic. And I think the best Christian mystics are pretty much in line with what Catholicism teaches. Where does that leave the chuds, though? All of us are on some sort of a process of waking up, dude. Everybody here has woken up to an extent, and it's not pretty. It's not, like, necessarily pretty to wake up. The weight of, like, analyzing the great truths of the world is, like, making you blow it with women, bro. That's kind of my take on the black pill, is like the best shot you would have to do better with women is to not have figured out any of the shit that we've figured out about the world, guys. It doesn't help. Waking up doesn't really help with women. I think about Transformers, like Shia LaBeouf and Transformers. I was like, okay, I got the girl to take the girl out on the date. Now I need money to pay for the date. That's what he says at, like, the very beginning of the movie. He's trying to jump through all the societal hoops to, like, get the girl. Well, and then, you know, maybe there's a bleak reality that, oh, she only likes you for your money, and she's gonna dump you, and, I mean, that might all be true, but a lot of men are too stupid to realize it, and they get to bang Megan Fox for, like, 6 months because they jumped through all the hoops. I appreciate it, Seneca. You know, I'm clearly having some kind of doubts in my faith lately, but make no mistake about it, man. I pray the rosary every day. I pray directly to Jesus every night. I start every morning with what's called the daily devotion prayer. My faith is still in Jesus Christ, boys. But I am having trouble just accepting, like, the freaking package that everybody is supposed to accept, man. And I think we're living in a time of, like, a mass awakening. This is We're experiencing not like a mass awakening, like not everybody's awakening, but people are waking up in this time. People are starting to wake up in this time. Yeah, I think so much of what Christ taught amounts to, I mean, and it's literal. It's not, I mean, some of it is allegory, or some of it not allegory, but some of it is what's the word? Parables. But when he says like, don't worry about how you're going to eat, don't worry about your clothes, he kind of makes it sound like if you wake up, you're going to be poor. Or if you wake up, like you're going to be low status in the world. Like you have to either choose material success or knowledge. And then, you know, the elite see pieces of the picture, but it just seems like the best way to learn these lessons is to kind of be backed into a corner of poverty. And then, you know, with the Old Testament, they're clearly trying to spread Gnosticism, guys. Like, there's so many Gnosticism threads on Poll lately. And I encountered these people, like, the esoteric, basically, peddlers of Gnosticism. I encountered those guys back in, like, 2016. And they're going forward with it. I think the Old Testament is God, like, helping people, you know? It really goes against the idea of evolution, Darwinism, that people just kind of, like, evolved over time through trial and error to become civilized. Like, no, God helped people become civilized. And it was brutal. And there was definitely, like, an aspect of punishment, but yeah, I still question aspects of that. There's always more questions. I don't think many are waking up, maybe only in those niche online spaces. Well, I think more people than ever are waking up, but it still doesn't amount to like a mass awakening. Roadhouse. And then ultimately, I don't think you have to have it all figured out to get saved. And it just kind of seems like karma, the concept of karma, is just so damn close to nearly being identical to what Christ taught. And I do believe that faith in Jesus Christ is important. You know, he will like guide you through this process. That's a very difficult process. And then, like I've said in my videos, touch nothing but the lamp, Cave of Wonders. That seems to be pretty damn good metaphor or allegory for karma. And yeah, it's not like you're not allowed to make money, guys, but you need the honest dollar. It's pretty obvious to me how people will just be corrupted in the pursuit of money and status. And taking the honest path, you will be like beating yourself up over it, man. It's like, wow. If I just would have been like a scuzzball, I could have got the woman, I could have got the money, I could have got the status. Dang. Don't worry. My family will give us money to buy a house. I told you guys I was in that group, Ask a Priest, on Facebook. And this girl was like, I married my husband when I was very young and I didn't have any money. I basically just married him for money and I don't love him. We've been together for 10 years. If I don't love my husband, should I just leave him? It was so brutal, dude. I probably should have screenshotted it and started circulating it in the black pill community. It was like the most brutal thing I've ever seen. I just married my husband when I was young and naive and I didn't have money. We've been married for 10 years and we have a family and he seems to really love me. Should I just leave my husband if I don't love him at all? And that's kind of the brutal truth of the black pill, guys, is like, I do think women left to their devices, you know, their nature comes out more. Their hypergamous nature has been watered and allowed to grow. It's like a shit plant, Randy. Women had this dormant hypergamous nature forever, but it wasn't allowed to grow. You know, like, in monogamous relationships, you know, women would get a glimpse of Chad and be like, wow, I wonder what it would be like to be with him. But it was kind of kept at bay. But yeah, guys, like, universal marriage, men had more to offer, though. At the same time that women's hypergamy is growing, now we're seeing men who just don't even have anything to offer at the same time. The system is to a point where I don't really know how it can be fixed. The idea that everybody's going to return to tradition, I think that's a pipe dream, dude. And I'm seeing these, like, trad LARPer memes. You see like the yes meme. It's kind of like a different variant of Chad. But dude, these trad LARPers like worship genetics. Like, you know, the whole concept of the meme is that every time you have a good opinion, it's like, oh, what? So you're just going to live on a farm and have a traditional family and go to church? And then they post like the Aryan Chad face guy, which is basically a guy who's like 6'2", 220 pounds, jacked. It's like, well, that's not me. So this, in truth, is embodied by a high genetic status male. And then they're like, oh, just work out. But no, dude, it's genetics. So trad LARPers are basically making it clear that, you know, you ain't shit if you're not this big fucking Aryan guy. So what does that tell you? Like, basically, you just can't be fucking trad if you're not a good-looking guy. it kind of buys into hypergamy. Don't forget about kitties. I'm getting love from my kitties. With my mind on my kitties and my kitties on my mind. Now, it eats you up over the course of your life as a chud is there were a couple of girls that liked me in high school, and they probably liked me for fucking who I am, and they were good enough, dude. I was way too picky in high school, but I started to realize over time that chick was good enough. She had a crush on me. Like, that's the shit that will eat you up, dude. Is you might have realized that you had an opportunity for young love that you didn't cash in on. Hey, Farty. Did you hear that I was talking about you? Gordon Hayward. Well, is it better to have loved and lost or better to have never loved at all? I've experienced never loved at all. And ultimately, I still managed to get hurt, you know, by girls that, like, I had flings with. I've experienced never loved at all, and, you know, I think it would have been better to have loved and lost. Birth control hype. But I don't know. Maybe this girl... Maybe I would have been able to keep this girl, dude, but... I was on a path to where I was just not going to be a provider male. I had these freaking music dreams, and I don't know how I would have ever become the provider male. She ended up getting with a bunch of fishermen. That's what every girl here did, dude. Fishermen got money. Goody goody. Yeah, if a girl shows even an ounce of attention, I'm ready to settle down. Most of these trad guys just end up providing for leftovers. Oh my gosh, dude. What I've seen, guys, is that, like, people who were born and raised into Christianity, I saw so many of these couples, man, that just... These guys got beautiful women, and they got them young, and they likely took their virginity, and it's like, wow, bro. Some of these people who were raised in the faith, they got the freaking girl, man, and they got her right off of the conveyor belt. they took her right off of the conveyor belt, because that's what the faith does, man. When women believe it, when women, like, really believe in the Bible, oh my gosh, dude, it just makes them act right. Nope, no braps over here. Footy's starting to think about food. Yeah. All it takes is not having a socially fucked up family. I've said it so many times, though, guys. For me, I think it was just one too many straws that broke the camel's back. I either needed a better upbringing, or I needed to be taller, or I needed better hair, or I needed to live somewhere else. Like, too many unfortunate things for me. Just too many things didn't go right for me. I needed one advantage that I didn't have, and I think I would have maybe not made it all the way, but at least, like, had more flings or more girlfriends. Which, honestly, I kind of feel like in the modern world is all you can really ask for, bro. Yeah, for, like, a successful relationship, you need a lot of things to go right. You need, like, almost everything to go right. Parents divorced, went from Catholic school to public school, everything downhill from there. Weed, casual sex, video games, porn, degen, now awakening. Lifting, reading. That's what's up, dude. JBW, come on, the villain. You need to go see how many blacked threads there are on pole, dude. It's Tyrone, though. Bro, 6'2", shredded, 200+ pound Tyrone is not struggling with women. I can tell you that much. Freaking 50 Cent maxed Tyrone is not struggling with women, dude. And I don't know, from what I saw on Instagram, the villain, like, you got a better hairline than I do. You need just that kind of, like, super cocky black guy attitude, man. Those guys are like, oh, I'm so fresh and clean. I'm so clean. I'm so fresh. Like, dude, that's what you need, bro. You need that, like, a cocky attitude. You need to Ja Rule Max. What does Ja Rule think about all this? What sucks is that Latino guys get a manlet pass, dude. Short Latino guys can just still get, like, the freaking hottest Latino girls, bro. I don't think he cares, though. I don't think he really cares that he's struggling to have a family. He probably has a family and he's just not raising his kids. Brutal. Bob Marley maxing. The universe is Jim maxing. Roman Catholicism is, like, built into it. Like, every Latino guy, like, no matter how degenerate he basically is in reality, like, maybe he's in a gang or some sort of crime or something, but they always got, like, Mary tattoos, and they got crosses in their house, and then, you know, maybe they go to mass on holidays or something, like, pretty damn common. I'm very observant, Seneca. It's kind of a curse, man. I feel like it's the bard, dude. It's my Irish blood. I tried to boast up my Anglo Mauger elite blood, but I swear, man, it's that Irish bard blood. The bards had like a way with words that could upset the status quo. The Irish bard. I've heard a lot of people say that, like, yeah, the high Irish blood, you have like a spiritual kind of inclination. So I'm trying to learn about the Druids. The Druids, man. What them Druids do? They respect their men because they start getting hysterical or crazy. The men give them smack. Haha. 4-leaf clover maxed. But yeah, dude, people in society, like, if you really are just like machine gun rapid firing the truth with everything you say, dude, people aren't gonna like you, man. People don't like a know-it-all. People don't like people who just speak the truth, dude. My isolation accelerated my awakening, and it's time to go to the Chud Corner to contemplate. You want to eat some food, Footy? All right. Let's feed the kitties. Oh, my legs are a little bit sore today. Did a decent job doing the weighted squats yesterday. $17 4-leaf clovers, damn. I've got a golden ticket. I've got a golden ticket. I have that version of autism. It's power. Keep pushing through the chud. Well, guys, I've been putting it out in the universe. They say be careful what you ask for. I've really put it out there to God that, like I've said on stream, I need 1 6-month relationship, man. I need a girl who I'm fully attracted to, amazing ass, I just imagine, like, I'm gonna freaking woo some sweetie at a coffee shop, and we'll have 6 months of freaking the whole thing, snuggling, watching TV, eating together, and good sex. And then she's gonna rip my heart out. And when that happens, when she freaking rips my heart out, I'm gonna just have to keep my cool and remember this is basically what I asked God for. I used to pray to God because I didn't lose my virginity till I was 20. When I was going to Berkeley, and I wasn't even a Christian, I would literally get down and pray to God, please God, just let me get laid like once. And then it happened, and she was hot, and it was everything I could ask for. But then that was it. It's like, oh wow, God literally gave me what I asked for. And then you realize like you asked for the wrong thing. I just need the full experience, man. The beautiful girl who acts like she's crazy about me, watching movies, getting cozy, lots of sex. And then after that, I'll basically just have to like be prepared for that to be it. Because that's what I'm telling everybody, that's what I need. I gotta take a piss. Woo-wee! One last hurrah! What happened? YouTube's freaked out? Did I freak out YouTube? Did I blow it? Whew, man. 2 bags of jalapeno chips in 2 days. Oh, I think I have an unpleasant bowel movement to look forward to today. A woman like what Shane had, dude, the Shield is dope. That ending, man. Oh my gosh, that ending. I don't want to spoil it for other people, but... Ha 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 ha. You're gonna sit in this cubicle and do boring office work. That's your punishment. Let's go! Yeah, man. That's kind of like my favorite thing I'm trying to do right now is I just want to listen to like dope music. Failure. Magnitude by Failure. I listened to that album last night. I was like, oh shit. It's really ugly though. You might listen to it and be like, ugh, like I don't really like this. That's kind of how I felt when I was first listening to it, but it's got to grow on you. I'm in my 30s too, the villain. We're in the same boat, dude. If you give up, then I should give up. So don't give up. You're in shape, bro. We're similar guys. Similar struggle. We're both in shape, little guys. You got a better hairline, dude. I swear, man. If you just like went to clubs and like acted like you were the shit, I have faith. I got a big weird mogger head. Let's go. Uh-oh, this guy's 23 and 5. 25 or 6 to 4. My dad always bragged about how young he looked. I got my dad's kind of like youthful genes to where, yeah, overall I look better now just because I'm bigger than I was in my 20s. I think I'm just going to keep getting bigger and more muscular, more athletic, and 38's my lucky number. I'd like to think I'm going to be in a good place in life by 38. I'm just going to try to stop blowing it, guys. Just going to stop blowing it. Not expect too much of life. Stop spurging. Take my own advice that I put out on my streams. Like, in the future social situations when I'm meeting new people, I'm not going to, like, try hard. Just a little bit goes a long ways. Oh, here's the Curtis fight. I kind of had the fights on in the background. Haven't been paying that close of attention. They've been buffering a lot. Somebody once blew it. Yeah, I freaking blew it. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. I was looking kinda chud with my finger and my thumb in the shape of an L on my forehead. Well, the years start chudding and they don't start chudding. Fed through the rules and I hit the ground chudding. Didn't make sense, not to skin it for fun. Your brain gets smart, but your head gets chud. So much to do, so much to see, so what's wrong with taking the chud street? You never know if you don't chud. You never shine if you don't chud. Hey now, you're a chuddy. Get the show on, let's chud. All that glitters is blowing it. Only shooting chuds fucking blew it. Oh. Oh my gosh. Let's go. And oi, blew it. I'll let you try my chuddy style. Oh, round and round in circles we go. Where it stops, we'll never know. Yeah, I do have a little bit of a weird feeling this week going into the eclipse. I'm kind of just eager to see what happens in the eclipse, y'all. He's looking good. Dude, the guy said he wanted to collab, and I picked a beat, and it threw me off. I mean, I don't know if he's blowing me off, though, because it shows, like, the comments that he's left on his SoundCloud page, and, like, he stopped leaving comments a week ago. It's kind of like he disappeared or something. Half my messages are getting blocked. Officially cucked. Dang, dude. The Indians sent a cardboard box to the moon a couple years ago. Yeah, I'll have to take another look at the filters. I do have pretty aggressive filters set, guys. I'm sorry. Let's take a little look-see doodles. All that glitters is chud. Let's see here. Blocked words. Let's let the chuds have some more words in here. Ice Poseidon. We could probably allow people to talk about Ice Poseidon. I don't know why I banned Ice Poseidon. That's a little bit much. There used to be some pretty serious spam in my chat, dude. A lot of these is from those days. Like, there would just be a never-ending amount of alt accounts, like, spamming something. Yeah, a lot of this seems like it's fine to just leave it as it is. Alright. This is looking a little bit better. It's looking a bit better. There we go. Boom. Loosened it up just a little bit. Roadhouse. Well, a lot of them are kind of like, I don't know. I don't really want to go over it, but you shouldn't have to worry about it too much. I just looked over the list, and a lot of like phrases are banned. Yeah, it's got Conor McGregor in it, and what is that, Jake Gyllenhaal? Now, Pajit, my son, we are undertaking our nation's greatest achievement yet. Poo on the moon. Yeah, it's still going. Curtis. Who's winning? Who do you guys think is winning? Round 3. Let's get it. The Swayze Express. Keeps buffering, dude. Oh. Whew. Alright, well, my computer's cucking me. Ooh. Did you like your food, Rogel Douglas? Yeah, I can't watch it, dude. Trying. Yeah, that's all my jalapeno chips. They were sure good, though. Damn. Alright, gang. Well, I think I'll just go ahead and catch the rest of the fight off stream. We've had a pretty sizable stream here. 2 hours. 2 hours! Well, I'm going to take it easy today. Let's get it. Let's go. I'm listening to some more music. Good talk. Good chat. Thank you for the $2 earlier. Let's keep on rocking in the free world, chuds. I'll see y'all in the next one tomorrow. Peace out. God bless. If I can just... Let's get it.